Hi, I'm Rob, and this is the 2026 Ram 1500 with the return of the Hemi. So the Hemi first came out in 2003. If you remember the old ad campaigns, hey, does that thing have a Hemi? Yeah, it's got a Hemi. And they've had the Hemi in production ever since then through 2024. Come 2025, they decided to abruptly discontinue it under the leadership of the Stellantis CEO, Carlos. He wasn't a fan favorite, and he killed the 5.7 Hemi. They replaced it with the then 3.0-liter Hurricane 6-cylinder turbo. It was not super well received. But then came Tim Kuniskis. Tim Kuniskis, he was the Dodge CEO for a long time, and he was the man behind the 6.2-liter V8 Hellcat engine that was in the TRX, the Charger, the Challenger, the Grand Cherokee, a number of different vehicles. And he had a great vision of muscle and power, bringing back brand heritage. Carlos, the CEO over the whole Stellantis brand, he was not on the same page as Tim Kuniskis. And eventually, Tim Kuniskis, he decided that he was just going to be done. He left the brand as a whole and kind of said, Carlos, you do your own thing. Well, when Carlos finally left in 2024, they brought Tim Kuniskis back and they put him in charge of the Ram brand. And the first thing that he wanted to accomplish was bringing the 5.7 Hemi back. He knew the 5.7 was a fan favorite and he wanted to bring it back, and that was his first plan of attack. And he did quickly. In less than a year, the 5.7 Hemi is here on dealership lots ready for people to buy. In bringing back the Hemi, they needed to rebrand it a certain way. With that, they decided to give it a whole new logo that they could put on the side of the truck. Some people called it a symbol of protest because it was a return of something that was less fuel efficient. They made it look cool, they made it bold and stand out. They even made a mechanical bull version of this that they would bring to different events. And actually, that bull was stolen at one point, quote unquote stolen. Later, it was found out it wasn't stolen, rather miscommunication. Now, with the return of this engine, they do have the e-torque standard on all of them. Not everybody loved the e-torque. It was a mild hybrid system, Ram calls it. And basically what that's going to give you is the start-stop system. So it turns off at a traffic light or at a stop sign. With that, though, it does have some added benefits. You get more torque. Your total torque on this truck is going to be 410 foot-pounds of torque with that mild hybrid system. And that's going to be this little block right here in the middle. You cannot avoid it. It is going to be on every 2026 5.7 Hemi. It's not a bad thing. The total horsepower on the 5.7 Hemi is going to be 395 horsepower, and that is with the, like I said, 410 foot-pound torque. It does have a maximum towing capability of 11,610 pounds. That's with the 392 gearing on the rear end. And that's the main way these trucks are being ordered from the get-go. With the exhaust on here, they actually have more of an active tuned exhaust from what it was previously. They wanted to broaden just how loud that exhaust is and make it sound as cool as what it was, because the Hurricane engine does not have this sound at all. So the Hemi is going to be available in just about every trim level of this Ram, with the exception of Rebel. I can't explain that. The RHO, that's a little bit more obvious because the RHO was the replacement for the TRX without the Hellcat engine, and then the Tungsten for some reason or another. Now I can imagine that they're probably going to come out with the 5.7 in both the Rebel and the Tungsten at some point. The RHO is likely going to just disappear because rumor is that 6.2 Hellcat is going to be returning as the TRX. On top of bringing the engine back, they wanted to enhance the warranty that we ever had before. We used to have the 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. Now that's going to be converted to a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and that's going to be on these 2026 models. So what does this mean for the future? We don't know yet. But what we do know is that the 5.7 Hemi is here. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And it seems like with Tim Kuniskis in charge, they're going to be bringing more of this muscle and power back. Does it mean that we're going to get a 6.4 Hemi in these half tons? Maybe. Does it mean we're going to get the TRX back? Probably. If you look online, you'll find that that TRX is likely coming back. And are we going to see it in other cars like the Grand Cherokee or the Wagoneer? I hope so, but time will tell with that. And I'm optimistic that in 2026, we're going to see a lot more of that coming down based on popular demand and how Ram and Stellantis is trying to do things different. I'm Rob. Thanks for watching my quick video on this Ram. I'm excited about what the future has to offer on Stellantis and Ram and the other brands alike, and I hope to share some of that information with you. Until then, thanks for watching and consider subscribing for more.